So apparently the market didn't get the memo that it was supposed to stay scared. Bitcoin just broke out of a months-long descending channel. Ethereum followed with a clean breakout and retest. XRP finally woke up. Solana remembered it's Solana. And somehow, everyone's still calling this uncertain. Sure. Fear and greed just climbed back into neutral. Bitcoin dominance is slipping. Liquidity is creeping back in. And institutions are quietly doing that thing where they say nothing and buy everything. Meanwhile, the news cycle went completely off the rails. Geopolitics, ETFs flipping green again, the Fed blinking, Trump talking about putting the entire financial system on chain. And that was just last week. So if you stepped away for the holidays and you're wondering what exactly you missed, don't worry, we saved you a seat. This is the SENB Daily Brief. I'm Sen B'Hiro. Let's talk about what actually matters.
You're listening to the SENB Daily Brief, powered by Whole Shot Coffee.
All right, let's zoom out and look at what the market is actually telling us. Bitcoin is sitting right around 94,000, and more importantly, it has officially broken out of the descending channel that's been containing price for months. This isn't just a wick. This isn't just holiday chop. We've got higher highs, higher lows, price back above the short-term moving averages, and momentum indicators completely reset to the upside, which usually happens right before people on X start saying it's probably a bull trap. Again. Stochastic RSI is fully elevated. Yes, short-term overheated, but that's exactly what breakouts look like before consolidation, not reversals. Ethereum honestly looks cleaner than Bitcoin right now. Ether broke out of its own descending structure, came back down, successfully retested, and is now pushing higher above $3,200. That retest matters. That's not speculative strength. That's structural confirmation, which is usually when people stop calling Ethereum dead for at least 3 weeks. Now, XRP just made the most aggressive move of the majors this week, up double digits, reclaiming levels above $2.20. It has now broken out of its descending channel as well, with momentum expanding and volume following price. That's important. XRP flipping BNB recently wasn't just a headline. It's a signal that capital is rotating, not exiting. Solana is back above $138, breaking out of its downtrend channel after weeks of compression. No full retest yet, but momentum is strong, volume is increasing, and Solana continues to act like a high beta risk-on asset. Which means when things are good, Solana makes sure everyone notices. Market sentiment check. Now let's talk sentiment. The fear and greed index just climbed to 42, firmly back in neutral territory. Last week, we were sitting in fear. Before that, deep fear. This shift matters because markets don't top in fear. They top in euphoria. And judging by timelines right now, we are nowhere near euphoria. Bitcoin dominance has slipped slightly to around 58.5%, while Ethereum dominance ticks higher and altcoins catch a bid. That's classic early rotation behavior. And zooming out, total crypto market cap is now back above $3.2 trillion. That's not retail FOMO. That's reflective coming back online. So, big picture, the structure has shifted. Momentum is back. Sentiment is healing, not euphoric, which is usually the part people miss because they're waiting for permission. Up next, let's talk about why this is happening. The top crypto stories driving this move when we come back.
You're listening to the SENB Daily Brief, powered by Whole Shot Coffee.
And we're back. So, let's talk about what actually moved the market this week. The biggest catalyst of the week wasn't a chart. It was geopolitics. U.S. forces confirmed the capture of Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro, with President Trump and the White House backing the operation. And markets immediately flipped risk on. Stocks rallied, commodities surged, and crypto caught a bid almost instantly, because nothing calms markets like one less wildcard dictator on the board. Bitcoin briefly tapped 93K, Ethereum cleared 3K, and majors across the board followed. Whether you agree politically or not, markets price certainty, and this removed a major source of the opposite. Next, the quiet signal that matters more than headlines. ETF flows are back. After heavy holiday outflows, Bitcoin ETFs posted plus $459 million in net inflows this week. XRP ETFs added money. Solana ETFs added money. Ethereum lagged slightly, but the trend flipped. This is institutional re-engagement, not hype. Smart money doesn't tweet. It allocates. Now this one lit up X like a Christmas tree. Multiple viral clips of President Trump calling the current financial system ancient and openly discussing a crypto-based framework under a new legislative structure. On-chain systems, structural reform, and hints at tax and settlement changes, which immediately caused half of crypto Twitter to mentally retire. Regardless of outcome, this matters because narrative drives capital, and the narrative is shifting from tolerating crypto to integrating it. Meanwhile, the Fed blinked. Dovish language, liquidity injections, and increasing openness to banks holding crypto exposure. Whether it's $8 billion or $40 billion in liquidity, the direction matters more than the number, because risk assets don't care why money is cheap, only that it is. Crypto historically thrives when real yields fall and liquidity expands, and right now, both boxes are being checked. Finally, let's talk rotation. XRP flipped BNB. Solana regained momentum. Meme coins surged over 20% as a sector. Bitcoin dominance slipped slightly. Not collapsing, but making room. This is usually where people argue about alt season instead of just watching capital flows. Rotation doesn't mean Bitcoin is done. It means the market is broadening, and broad markets are healthier markets. So put it together. Geopolitical clarity, institutional inflows, pro-crypto political narrative, dovish macro, and expanding risk appetite. That's not a coincidence. Up next, we're going deep. One story deserves more than a headline. The SENB Deep Dive when we come back.
Beneath the data seeds, fortune coded in these blockchain keys.
You're listening to the SENB Daily Brief, powered by Whole Shot Coffee.
All right, let's talk about this one, because if you were on X today, you'd think Walmart just turned every checkout lane into a Bitcoin ATM. Apparently, you can now buy milk, eggs, and Ethereum directly. Let's slow this down and do what the internet refused to do for about 12 straight hours. This story traces back to an October 3rd CNBC report. Not today, not this week, not breaking news. The real headline is this. Walmart-owned fintech OnePay is rolling out crypto trading and custody inside its app. That's it. No QR codes at checkout, no Bitcoin-only self-checkout lanes, no cashier asking if you want to pay in ET8 or cash. Sorry to ruin the cinematic moment. OnePay, which Walmart owns a majority stake in, already offers banking tools, debit cards, savings accounts, peer-to-peer payments, buy now, pay later. Now they're adding Bitcoin trading, Ethereum trading, and custody powered by Zero Hash. You can buy crypto, you can hold crypto, you can sell crypto, and then, this part matters, you can convert it back into dollars and spend those dollars at Walmart. That is not the same thing as paying with crypto in store. Somehow this turned into Walmart accepts crypto, exposing over 1 billion monthly customers. Let's fix that. Walmart serves about 240 million customers per week. That's roughly 1 billion annually, not monthly. And they are not accepting BTC or ETH directly at registers. This is a banking app feature, not a retail payment overhaul. That distinction matters. Now, just because the internet exaggerated it doesn't mean it's meaningless. This is actually a very big deal, just not for the reasons the viral posts claim. Here's why. OnePay is already one of the top finance apps in the U.S. Walmart serves underserved and underbanked populations, and this introduces Bitcoin and Ethereum to people who would never open Coinbase. This is how mainstream adoption actually happens, quietly, incrementally, through familiar brands. For normal people, not traders, not crypto Twitter, here's the real takeaway. Crypto becomes easier to access. It lives next to everyday banking tools, and it feels less casino and more financial option. But, and this is important, crypto is still volatile. Selling crypto creates tax events, and losing money on grocery money is not ideal. This is an on-ramp, not a revolution. This wasn't fake news, but it was inflated news. Walmart did not flip the switch on in-store crypto payments, but Walmart did legitimize crypto as a mainstream financial asset. And if this works, Amazon notices, Target notices, banks notice. That's how change happens, not with fireworks, but with infrastructure. So that's the reality behind the Walmart crypto headlines. Not a revolution, but definitely a signal. Which, by the way, didn't stop the internet from immediately declaring crypto adoption complete. Now, before we wrap this thing up, it's time to turn the mic back to you. Because while the headlines were loud this week, the smartest takes didn't come from press releases. They came from the community. Questions, reactions, hot takes, and a few absolutely unhinged comments that somehow still make a good point. It happens more than you'd think. Let's get into it. The Proof of Thought Mailbag is coming up next.
You're listening to the SENB Daily Brief, powered by Whole Shot Coffee.
All right, we're back. If you're just joining us, welcome. We just survived a week of Walmart headlines, recycled CNBC clips, and people discovering context for the first time. Now let's do my favorite part of the show, the Proof of Thought Mailbag, where the community brings the heat and occasionally brings a flamethrower to their own feet. This first one comes from @StackinSats Daily. If Walmart accepts crypto, that's it. Game over. Banks are finished. Bitcoin to $1 million. Ah, yes, Walmart, the famously anti-bank, anti-corporate, decentralized revolution, led by the checkout aisle. Look, I get the excitement. Big brands touching crypto does matter, but let's not confuse crypto exposure inside an app with the collapse of the global banking system. Still, appreciate the optimism, just maybe dial the apocalypse back a notch. Next up, @FedWatcher420, and yes, the username checks out. Powell folded. Liquidity is back. This is literally 2020 all over again. Literally. Listen, the Fed did blink a little. Liquidity is easing. Banks getting more comfortable with crypto exposure matters. But if this were actually 2020 again, you'd be getting stimmy checks and learning what a Zoom background is. We're closer to controlled easing than money printer goes brrr. But hey, good instincts, just fewer time machines next time. This one's spicy, from @AltSeasonSoon. BTC dominance is falling. Alts are about to melt faces. If you're still in Bitcoin, you're already late. Yes, Bitcoin, famously the asset people regret holding. Rotation is happening. Alts are moving. XRP, Sol, meme coins, they're having their moment. But here's the thing. Every cycle, every single one, people announce Bitcoin's funeral right before it reminds everyone why it exists. Trade alts. Rotate smartly. Just don't build your entire thesis on this time Bitcoin is obsolete. History is undefeated. All right, last one for today from @RealWorldCrypto. Walmart news is fake hype. Crypto still doesn't do anything real. Now, this one's interesting because buried under the cynicism is actually a fair frustration. No, crypto didn't suddenly replace grocery checkout lanes this week, but saying it does nothing while ETFs, custody, banking rails, and consumer apps quietly integrate it, that's like saying the internet did nothing because Amazon started with books. Big shifts don't feel dramatic at first. They feel boring. And then one day you realize everything runs on them. That's why this segment matters. Not moon math, not headline panic, but people thinking, questioning, pushing back. If you want your comment featured next time, drop it under the show, tag it Proof of Thought, or just say something smart enough that I can't ignore it. All right, coming up next, the Sen B project update, right after this.
Beneath the data seeds, fortune coded in these blockchain keys.
You're listening to the SENB Daily Brief, powered by Whole Shot Coffee.
All right, let's shift gears. This is the SENB project update, where we talk less about speculation and more about execution. And this week, we actually have a lot to cover. First up, Embervale just dropped another single, Bull's Return, part of the upcoming crypto-themed album Road to Freedom. This track is very intentional. It's not hype music. It's not meme music. It's cycle music. The feeling after the drawdown, after the noise, when conviction quietly comes back online. If you've been building through the quiet parts, this one's for you. Now let's talk numbers. SENB just printed a new all-time high. No paid influencers, no artificial volume games, no partnership announcement fluff, just steady participation and growing alignment. That's the kind of price action you actually want long-term. And this part matters. Right now, over 32 million SENB tokens are locked in the new staking protocol. That's real commitment. Not clicks, not likes, locked value. In return, 8,800 SENBT tokens are being paid out daily to stakers who believe in the long game. This is the foundation phase, and it's working exactly as designed. Quick update on the Tooker airdrop. The event is officially moving forward. We now have a dedicated webpage live where holders can track progress, timelines, and upcoming details as they're finalized. No rushed snapshots, no confusion. We're doing this cleanly. If you're eligible, just keep an eye on that page. On the social side, views and engagement are continuing to grow, slowly, organically, and exactly how you'd expect over a holiday break. No artificial spikes, no burnout pacing, just steady expansion while people unplug, recharge, and come back ready for the next phase. So zooming out, music is shipping, the token is moving, staking is working, the airdrop is progressing, and the community is still here. That's not noise, that's momentum. All right, one final segment left. Let's bring it home with some final thoughts and set the tone for what matters this week. Stay with me.
You're listening to the SENB Daily Brief, powered by Whole Shot Coffee.
All right, let's zoom out for a moment. We covered a lot today. Markets breaking structure, policy narratives heating up, corporate crypto headlines getting louder, and real progress inside the SENB ecosystem. But here's the part I want to leave you with. What we're seeing right now isn't chaos. It feels chaotic because the headlines want it to. But structurally, this is what early cycle alignment looks like. Liquidity is loosening. Institutions are re-entering. Retail is still hesitant. And narratives are colliding before they fully make sense, which historically is when everyone says, this time feels different. It always does. The fear and greed index is still sitting near neutral. Bitcoin dominance hasn't collapsed. Alt strength is selective, not reckless. That's not euphoria. That's repositioning. The people who panic early and the people who chase late are usually reacting to the same thing, just at different emotional timestamps. Your edge right now is not speed, it's not leverage, it's not prediction. It's clarity. Knowing what you hold, knowing why you hold it, and not letting a headline make decisions for you. If you're building instead of reacting, you're already ahead. That's going to do it for today's SENB Daily Brief. If this episode helped you think more clearly, share it with someone who's still doom-scrolling headlines. If you're part of the SENB ecosystem, stay steady, stay curious, and remember, real conviction is quiet. I'm Sen B'Hiro. Same signal, less noise. I'll see you tomorrow. The SENB Daily Brief is a production of Sen B'Hiro Media in collaboration with Whole Shot Coffee, coffee that fuels champions. Written and hosted by yours truly, Sen B'Hiro. Production, editing, and scheduling handled by Maya Valencia, who somehow keeps me on time, caffeinated, and occasionally polite. Original theme music composed and produced by Paul Hahn, the community legend whose beats hit harder than a Fed rate hike. Research support provided by the SENB community. Proof that sarcasm and spreadsheets can coexist. For more shows, merch, and on-chain chaos, visit senbhiromedia.com. Thanks for tuning in. Stay caffeinated. And remember, if it's not in the brief, it probably wasn't bullish anyway.
Set my wallet free.